Let's get stuck in. I'm so excited for this one. Again, Lair, I think a lot of people are intimidated by it, but there is no reason to be. If you have a little cheeky gander at the blueprint of the map itself, you'll see it's actually quite straightforward. That top floor can play very similar to Chalet. It's very fast. It's very, very quick if you want to get stuck in on these old attacks. The second floor as well, very much of the same. You can just pinch out very, very quickly and effectively and get a lot of clearance for yourself. The main struggle seems to be in that basement, because again, you do have to contain a lot of control just above you on that middle floor still, whilst also dealing with the fact that if you are going to go on the horizontal, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies before you get to what's just a giant shooting range in the middle, essentially. So it can be a little bit clunky with the basement. However, we've seen, again, gorgeous things throughout Rumble, really nice strategies being brought to the table by so many teams at how they want to approach that. We've seen everything from rushes to util dumps. So I'm very excited to see what gaming team are cooking, because we think about some of the things that have happened with players like Shed before in the past. Think about that G-Who roster a long, long time ago, where they were able to cook some absolutely phenomenal things just by having a little bit of that sprinkling from Titan at the time, I believe it was, a little bit of help from Titan. And it did give them a lot of knowledge that they've since gone forward with. Again, T1 stints have happened from a lot of these players. It's a lovely little roster. Rauer has a lot of firepower behind him, as does Denster. So you do really want to see them hit the ground running here on what can be a very fun map in terms of utility and immediate pressure.
All right. Let's get underway with Team Boiler Room attacking. Honestly, I was looking at the name. I was like, must mean something. And I just Googled it. I was like, this is not what I expected. But learn something new every day. And the beautiful thing about Lair is that everybody's still learning every single day. Of course, it has been in the map pool for quite a little bit, but every single time there's just, at every single tournament there is at least a new little approach going, or a different kind of strategy being utilized. And that's the fun thing about Siege. Things always change. And even when you think things can change anymore, I mean, Clubhouse is one of the big things. A new operator comes out and suddenly it does again. So, there, as it is still a bit of a proving ground, it is Rahma that gets the very first kill as he takes down Hova. It's a nice start. Definitely some worries here, though, about what could be around in Op Room. Sometimes C4s from below, of course, something to be afraid of. Rastin on the IQ could technically spot that, though, for them.
He could. And again, they're already getting this Mez control because of operational being nice and open for them, and no pressure being contested there on the side of gaming team. We do have Denster on that server hallway. He could potentially throw some early toxic babes out and apply pressure through utility and deny that Mask Wall from being opened. Again, Nick, he's got the Selmas. So realistically, all he has to do is just lob them down and try and cover in case someone tries to shoot them off the wall. Loads of investment from that Chanker as well. Rastin trying to make his way up the stairs with a backstab. Gets it. Denster is downed. Not confirmed just yet. There we go. Nick is going to get it. Swing around the corners being attempted with that shotgun slab and takes out Nifsu. A follow-up onto Nick as well. It's absolute pandemonium. Rastin finished by the fire. Zlambe, bless him. 1 versus 3 to try and clutch out. Loads of time to work with, though. Just has to isolate these 1 versus 1s. Gets the first. Trying to find that follow-up. Gaming team, they need to be sensible. Don't feed him here. He is tagged up significantly, but they may not know that. So they do have to be careful. They have kit. It's cold. It's away from Lambe. He's running out of options, and he's running out of time.
Sending in the drone to get the information. Has the rough position of one player, but as soon as he exfilled the building, suddenly had rotations coming through, and now Shumika's putting some fire in the room, making it difficult for Lambe. 10 seconds, and he cannot find either Shed. But the DP28 will finish the job. That final kill in the first round will thus go in favor of the defense.
Lovely stuff from gaming team. especially the fact that what Panahone were trying to do wasn't necessarily bad. It's just you had so much throwable utility coming up from gaming team that was making the job a lot more difficult. Even when downs were happening, it was very swiftly flipping the other side because of the amount of chaos created by the utility. And again, when you've got those shotguns lurking around those corners, when you've got a Chanka, for goodness sake, sending out mollies, and that kind of firepower as well, it's not the nicest thing to have to go into as those bodies start dropping for you. So going down to basement now. Touched on this before. Ideally what you want to do is you want to get that top floor control, or even just middle floor control, depending on if anyone's lurking up there. Use your drones. Then you want to have a cheeky little gander around medical and armory, clear space there. Start working verticality in armory in particular. Rip open those floorboards and apply pressure below into basement. You'll pull people into those corners. At that point, you can try and force your way down the stairs, but you need a lot of util to do so. We're going to see the Capital come out in the hands of Rastin. We're going to see firebolts. We're going to see smoke bolts. I think having Lambe, of course, on the Deimos, we expect people to be bringing out Deimos till the cows come home, realistically. But again, having that information, that kind of kit to go a bit more aggro to get that opener really will be an added benefit here.
Lacking a little bit of vertical options here on the side of Panahonic. No ram being brought to open up above, just the ash, which means no sledge, no buck. Will force them to go for a very horizontal take here. Of course, with the S-charge, they lead in quickly. As trades instantly happen because teams enter from both sides, but in general, it is gaming team coming out on top of the initial fight. The 2v3 verticality still in control of gaming team. It's not even being contested whatsoever by Panahone. And currently we have one defender on side, two offside above. As Rawa finds one, it's just up to Lambe now. Leighton already rotating, coming back towards the side. He just passed by Lambe, not knowing that he's been seen. And Lambe, the hunter he is as Deimos, is going to see if he can isolate that player. Take him down. He might have taken a little bit of a wallbang there as he moved through, using the grenade to deny the area, allowing him to move, and now the track comes through onto Rawa. Aware of where he is on the actual ground floor, but also knowledge of the fact that Leighton's near. And as Lambe is making his move, he's also, of course, broadcasting his own position. He's pushing through the smoke! We'll get one. Taking minimal damage from that smoke. And now in a 1v2 situation, still one death mark in pocket, aware of the fact that one player is up below and one is up above. His track will give him the player above him. But that's not the one he's interested in. He needs to find Leighton. Because as soon as he does, a plant can commence. And thus he's hunting him. His position still being broadcasted though. As he turns the corner, he's right behind him. Now fully aware as Leighton's chasing with the shotgun. Hoping to get the first pump out and make that one stick. And Lambe sneakily coming across the corner. Giving away his information as he's stamping loudly. But he's still in a position to clutch. As he pre-fires one, he's going for the second. It is Sleben though, that comes out on top, and gaming team to find themselves with a second round on the board.
Had been a slight yikes moment there, because we're having this player kind of trying to clutch from Toxin, you're getting into Lab. At that point, Lab should be very dangerous for Lambe. Lab, again, it's so open, there should be enough ways to cover. However, due to the positioning of gaming team being kind of split apart from one another, they were like, you know what, we can't really contest this too much. We don't want to lose the advantage we have. We can't isolate these 1 versus 1s, so we are just going to have to play super passive and wait for that kit to go down and try and play around that audio instead. Very well played by gaming team, just being a little bit patient and cautious there. Safety first. But it's worked, Hap. It's worked.
Worked out for now indeed. Gaming team finding themselves with 2 rounds on the defense, although rounds taking quite some time. At least they're getting them on board. It's what's important. Again, when we prefaced it before, they still have the opportunity to climb up to 2nd place in the group, which is only doable with a full-fledged regulation victory, a 3-pointer. Even then, let me just double check. No, actually no, because yeah, Secret Academy got those 3 points. So, in that case, 3rd place in the group. Which would still require them to get the full-fledged 3-pointer.
Nick opening things up nice and swiftly.
Oh.
Denster has something to say about that. Taking him out. No trade can be established from Panahorne. They're not up close and personal enough yet, despite their best efforts. Being a little bit gung-ho here. We have Halver making his way up blue. It's an unfortunate start for Panahorne. They've lost a little bit of an entryway through those reinforced walls. Do still have the blitz though. Lambe dealing with Shed. That's the mirror gone. The mirrors themselves will still be out and about. Probably played quite aggressively behind, you would imagine. Raston getting tagged up a little bit. I think Sledden is trying to contest it. I respect the confidence! And confidence is key because he gets it. Raston will fall 2 versus 4. It's all falling apart for Panahorne, bless them. Really, really struggling with these attacks, but there's still time yet again. We've seen how this goes. Panahorne gaming team will go really passive now. Surely Panahorne have clocked onto that. Okay, we need to cook something here. Maybe a backstab. Maybe a pinch. Try and isolate them. They're not going to come to us. But what information do we have? It looks like Panahorne don't really have the right drones out and about. Nothing to look at, nothing to witness, and nothing to call. Difficult, difficult, difficult situation for them, Hap.
Oh, spots ahead. He couldn't quite connect. Eventually we'll find it as Rama drops. 45, still aware of the fact that people are up above. The fuser has been down, of course, when the Blitz took the fight earlier. Isu coming in with, I believe it's a Camarras. Trying to deal the damage necessary. There is a ping going through. Lame has the idea of at least one player who's trying to go for a pre-fire, but already long gone. Stanster out there. The pre-fire's coming through as it's now just up to Lambe. He's trying to dance by the bullets, but Sleben finds 2 of those kills in the end. Gaming team, just a very solid start to this map. 3 rounds in a row. No reason to slow down just yet. Panahorne just not able to find a connection point.
I feel like the troublesome thing for me is the fact that, you know, Panahorne haven't made things easy for themselves this weekend. And they're usually pretty okay at there. Like, again, they've done some really nice things on it previously. The Tachanka being banned does not surprise me one bit. Again, there's been so much utility thrown at them. I think at this point, yes, you just get rid of the Chanka. Get rid of the chaos that comes with, especially that top floor, right? Because they were really struggling with that fire. The backstab that usually comes up, the kind of mezzanine stairs, just was not allowed at all. There's fire falling everywhere. So this might make it a little bit easier for Panahorne when they are approaching this kind of mass 6 site. Again, the easiest attack you can try and do when it comes to this top floor is that you get operational control under your belt. You get mez control. You go deep into mez. So you can cut off the doorway going into master. You can cut off the server hallway. But then you just have someone open up that mask wall. You stick the plant. You've banned out the Tachanka. So in terms of throwable utility, you only have to worry about C4s and toxic babes. 9 times out of 10, for people to try and pull that one off, they have to come a little bit closer into master, in which case you should be able to catch them off guard from that mez doorway into master. So it's cheesing things a little bit, but it's so doable. It's so simple. As long as you have the right positions, as long as you're able to get that first initial clearance. It's 2 rooms. And again, with a little cheeky backstab and flank up the main stairs, pressure even coming from below. A lot of people like to bring Buck out when they're approaching this as well. They like to bring the Buck. Very old school, having Buck go below and work that Verti. Even a Deimos underneath as well. There's options. There's so many options at this point with the game. Speaking of that middle floor, Rastin is there with the IQ. Having a cheeky gander from below. Seeing what kind of kit they're going to be up against. Shared his Jaeger shotgun, Hap. How do you like those apples?
I actually really like the M870. I think it's a better shotgun than the SES one. Hot take, I know.
But yeah, controversial.
Just 416 is really good. The MP7 is really good, so I don't really see it. What can I say? You know, back in my day, I actually had an Ace with it's a 870. You know, since then I've fallen in love with it. Anyway, I'm expectant and interested to see how Roar is being used. Honestly, one of the most difficult operator names to pronounce for me. He's in those barricades. Where are they coming into play? Is it for a fast kind of plant? As a striker using all their utility, Lambe come out on top of that fight, instantly leaning into a second as well as Denster finds a kill for the efforts, but still, even though we saw that huge double kill coming through, it is a 2-on-2 situation still, and you can almost say that gaming team is in control as Leighton removes the head of Rastin, and Hova, the last man standing, has one close on his left, has one next to the unreinforced wall, and as he pre-fires one, he gets swung on by both. And gaming team take round 4 and put it in their pockets as well, even though, I mean, they didn't struggle as much as they did in the first round, but then things just still fell apart. The flank from Rocket Stairs found 2 kills, but after that, the attack just fell short.
Like for how passive gaming team are being at times, Panahone aren't kind of taking the initiative enough at times to kind of get stuck in. But again, I guess that passiveness is coming once those first few bodies start dropping. And Panahone are really struggling with the information game, it seems, as well. They're really not giving themselves a lot of info, a lot of options. They need to try and secure these next 2 rounds. We're going to see another 6-0 for the weekend. 6-0 half.
Yeah, the third one to go with.
The third one of the weekend.
Well, technically again, 4.
It's baffling to me. It is baffling to me because I look at every single roster in this tournament and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be some real juicy and close games, but it's just not quite worked out that way at times. Of course, this is the group stage. Next weekend we will be having those playoffs. The best of 3s is when the eliminations start to occur. 2 lives before you're out. But you don't want to go into that alligator swamp, do you, Hap? You don't want to be there from the get-go.
Yeah, my last name isn't Irwin, so not really good at wrestling alligators. Come on, that could have at least gotten a chuckle.
I did laugh.
Okay, I didn't hear. I was like, please, just let me hang here.
No, I did a little chuckle. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Gaming team, the defense have been quite strong, quite well. Isn't the lack of opportunity here for the set of Panahone. They've definitely managed to get some great kills on the board. It's just that they weren't able to connect it near the end of these rounds. Deimos is tracking down Latent. Information is being gathered, aware of the mirror window, aware of the bandit wire, aware of some of these players as well. Of course they want to push in and Lambe is making some noise, but Shed, with the first kill, continues his push towards Rocket. And as Nifsu goes down as well, Lambe, he's been working so long on descending this staircase. He had 3 people lined up and instead his entire team is falling underneath him, and that's some siege timing! A grenade in pocket, and instantly it's Rawa swinging around the corner with the FO12. And Nick, all alone now. An effective 1v3. As he kills the first for his efforts, Shed could still be recovered. And as he moves through the door, he will be spotted through the mirror window. Up to Rocket he goes, but Shed, with the TCSG, locks it off. And Gaming Team now have 5 rounds in their pockets. Soon they'll need their second hand to count.
But again... Just me. Panahone are really struggling with the coordination right now. You know, there we go. Okay, a timeout's being called when they've got one more attacking round left. Scratching my head a bit at that, but again, maybe they're not deep seeing things too much. We have someone upstairs, right, playing around Skybridge. They need to come down blue stairs eventually and start working Armory. However, in order to do that more effectively, you need that timing to be right from the rest of your teammates. Your teammates pushing a little bit too forward at times and kind of dying does render you in a very awkward position if you are, you know, that player, you know, you're on the Deimos, you're like, hey, I need to try and find these entries, so I need everyone to get into place and start to apply the pressure as I'm coming down that blue stairs area. Again, just a little bit disjointed on the side of Panahone. Gaming Team, however, I mean, the vibes have been Denster. Denster's having a great time. It's nice to see Denster at the top of the leaderboard. A bit of a quiet weekend for him.
Just living a nice breeze game.
Well, he's just, again, like, he's one of those players that we've all completely fallen in love with at the T2 level. Like, he is just, one, very, very gifted mechanically. He's absolutely hilarious to watch in like a LAN environment as well. It's just a very big personality, a very fun personality as well. And he just is a little bit of a golden boy of the T2 circuit at the moment. And again, you look at that entire roster on the side of Gaming Team and it's like, oh, there's so much good times behind the scenes most likely, because it is just good players who have high vibes, and that makes for a very good team, you know? That makes for a really nice basis. Let alone once they get that mileage and they start to like cook things a little bit more effectively. Again, another team that I'm excited to see play in these playoffs.
I really need to start writing a Wikipedia page to keep track of all your favorite players and teams and their accolades.
Well, this tournament's incredible for it. Like it really does feel like
grace stamp that we can put on players. Just so
grace
we know.
Stamp.
There's too many to keep track of.
No, there's a lot of different reasons why I'm big fans of a lot of different players. Shed, for example, right? Shed started where I started. Shed started in Collegiate in the UK, and working your way up to T1 from Unisiege is something that needs to be admired. Speaking of Shed, lobs a C4 at Lambe, hits him in the face, good night. That's a striker off the board, and all of that gorgeous pick-and-mix utility removed from the hands of Panahone.
I wonder what he was trying to park, considering he wasn't allowed to park there. As the bashing continues, however, it's rasted onto a castle barricade, met with a Surya laser gate. A bit unfortunate, we'll have to use a bit of utility as Hova. Looking to take the fight towards the staircase. There is a player out there, cannot quite connect to it as of yet. Hova in general, struggling to connect, not a single kill on the board. Nick and Nissi both on one as well. And as the flashbangs come in, they have to be careful. There it is, Hova instantly stepping up, finding Sleben. Shed the next one to potentially find a fight. As the opening will be made thanks to the gas pipe going off. Denster will go down as well. Leighton gets picked up. This could be the first round for Panahone, as they're in a 3 and 4 situation with Denster being low on HP. The pickup at least has commenced. With a minute 10 left on the clock, there's lots of information here for Panahone to work with. They just need to make sure that they bring this one across the finish line. Because if they let this slip, it is going to be a very rough second half for them when they're on the defense. Like, you're expecting them to pick up at least a round, or more than that. But if you're 0-6 down, I mean, we've seen it happen already in this tournament. Helva will find himself yet another kill. With 40 seconds and the blitz now pre-firing as well, as Rasin actually going quite low. A single shot on the feet would be enough, but Nick will find the support, and Denster, who's gone down before, is the last man standing, cannot line up any of the shots, and Panahone with the first one on the board, as they swap sides towards the defense now, where they need to make a difference. to bring this back towards a winnable position.
5-1 half for Panahone. It's not the best, but at least they converted the timeout. That's a little consolation prize. Going on to the defensive half again, they know how to play this defense. They know what to expect, and they know where to expect the sneaky shenanigans the gaming team may potentially bring here. Lots of backstab potential when it comes to Lair, and again, we look at some of those players in that gaming team roster, we are expecting maybe a few cheeky little pocket strats as the time progresses. If they're not able to go default and get the job done in a few rounds, I think we'll start to see those pockets come out, to be honest, Hap. I mean, maybe indeed already. Because we've got the Lion Glaz combo. They've assumed it's going to be top floor. Let's see if that utility on the attack sticks. Because again, combining global utility with a Glaz is a little bit nasty. Especially when you've got the Deimos and the Grim as well. I expect Leighton's going to be playing on that Verti from below. I'd be surprised if he's not. Again, just trying to get pressure there. No, we're seeing the Buck instead come out from Denster. Again, we touched on this at the start of the map. A really lovely way that you can apply pressure directly onto site in a safety way. Get operational, get Mez, have the Buck force things below so that people on site feel very, very unsafe. They feel like they can't contest the mask execute with utility. It puts a lot of pressure on them. They don't want to risk getting caught off guard by Denster. Very excited to see what happens here.
Alright, off we go. Gaming team up to the races on the attack this time round. A very quick entry from Shed here. No, just opening up the window. Phantom pressure as it may be. He's having the defense worry about what could be on the other side of things. Just the preparative work is being done. Drones are rolling in. Information's being gathered. It's just your default siege. Ingredients being left up or destroyed. Sometimes we see defense, of course, preemptively destroying the fire extinguishers or the gas pipes. I don't want to be suffering from the end of it. Shed already inside, but he's being forced to wait thanks to a Goyo pocket. It's gonna keep him at bay for at least 30 seconds now. There's gonna be 3 more of those on the map as Lambe takes a little bit of damage. He is being hunted. He's trying to run away for his life. It's actually picked up by Denster. Takes a lot of damage himself, but he's still up, and it's the Buck. So his main goal is to just put up that verticality, put up that pressure. And as now that ground floor has been cleared out, he has some freedom of doing so. Of course, we'll still have to be careful for the vertical challenge to come out.
We do indeed, but gaming team kind of forcing a northern take. One of the more difficult takes to approach the top floor with. As a result, Nifsu kind of being in Mez. I want to get a little bit closer. However, beautiful pick there onto Shed. Slayton will take out Nick. Follow up onto Halver as well. Cleaning up shop here. Rastin does have the Alder. Nifsu's been able to get into a new position. Getting into server. Playing very close to one another. But there's still a gap there that they need to plug. They need to be very, very careful. Slayton just on the horizon. Stencer starts to approach storage now. Again, yes, he's tagged up significantly. But he's alongside Rauer, and that duo play could really shut things down. Raston's not careful here.
The bees are going to keep him at bay. He's going to have to just sit still as they take mask room. The pre-fire's there, at least gets it down on one, to secure on the other. The fire will get a kill, but it's a 1-on-2 situation now. Technically a 1-on-1. As Leighton is injured. And it's just Niftu against Sleben. He jumps through the window and he picks up the kill. Was fully aware of where he was coming from. And Panahone will pick up their second round. I'm still confused. Where did Shed get down from? It must have been Nisu that just walked by on the opposite side. But 2-5. It's still a perfect position to be in here for Gaming Team because this attack almost went their way. It was a clutch situation that lost it. Of course, that happens. You don't let it happen too often. But they were in general control of that round.
Really big redemption for Panahorne almost is also, yeah, having the Maestro play around 6. We've seen a few teams do this. Geek historically in a very lovely strat they actually brought to the Rumble playoffs weekend was a really heavy kind of Maestro investment on that top floor. The Alder, it does cut. It's a horrible, horrible gun to go in against. However, they had the Capital Firebolt. They were able to do a little bit of the old barbecue. But at that point, the damage was already done. Downs had occurred. And a 1 versus 1 where you can kind of guess where that very loud operator's coming from. Gaming Team just have to brush themselves off here. But for Panahorne, it is a lifeline. To mean that they're still in it to win it if they can keep holding on to these rounds, denying that match point and denying that map. Again, we have seen lovely things from them on the map of Lair. Know they can play it. It was just a rough first half for them. Really, really was very, very janky, to be honest. Unbalanced, again. Timing off. Communications lacking just because of the lack of information. Now they're on that defensive half. They've got the house cams. They've got the timer with them as well. You're in a bit more of a power position. Got Leighton coming in from below as Rauer starts to clear this middle floor.
Patiently waiting for the drones to roll in ahead of him. Why face check it with your shield if a drone can do the job for you? So don't want to be walking into a trap or your sight exposed to someone else. Rauer also receiving a bit of suppression, is definitely in a bit of a fight. Phone calls will go out as the preparation of the verticality is starting as well. A little bit of damage to Dens there must have been from the vertical. Shed, as he's exploring, aware of at least one that is roaming, finds him as well. Nick runs right into the crosshairs as he was trying to chase for Denster. Rauer will go down, so there's the Blackbeard shield at least removed, but the chems are now under full control of the attack, and that can be used to their advantage. The Valkyrie being on the board, especially, as chems could be in positions that could be beneficial to the attackers as well.
No, 100%. There's a black iron filter. So even if the house cam goes, they were relying on that to see as that pressure comes in from blue. Shed dealing with Halver. 3 versus 4. Denson will fall to the hands of Lambe, but Nifsu has been tagged up significantly. Still a nice even split between the side of Panahorne though. Lambe is still upstairs. Might come down to give a little bit of backup though. He's going to scrap his way out of this situation. No one's able to hit him. A little bit of whiffage there. And Shed somehow taken out. Lambe escaping by the skin of his teeth. Unfortunate stuff there. And again, that's put Gaming Team a little bit up against the wall now. Leighton desperately trying to find these bodies. Gets one onto Nifsu. Way more doable, but that timer is ticking. Sleben needs to hold on to this. Leighton going for the plant. Is he with Rastin? Yes, he is. Takes him out. Lambe now left. The 1v2 clutch. Gets his first onto Sleben. Flick off the wrist. Makes it look so easy. But poor Leighton on the ace. Has to try and pull back. Has to try and play around that timer now. Time going from the 6th defender to the 6th attacker. Lambe aware that the pressure is on his back now. Has to try and find this player. Gets it! A 4K for the round. And post-plant secured. Signed, seal delivered. 3-5 now for Panahorne.
I'm just going to say, Lambe had absolutely no business living up until this point. He was fighting against 2 players on Rocket. Somehow, this right here. One player swaps over to the Deagle as he runs out with the MPX, survives, gets that kill. Leighton doing some incredible work, working himself into the site so he can get that plant down. And then as Lambe drops, instantly ADSs to the head, finds that kill, and then baits out Leighton until he was able to find that kill. A wonderful play from him, but he had no business living there because he should have died at Rocket.
Whew.
Bit of butterfly effect. Or like one of those confrontations can lead to like the round outcome changing. He was upstairs, couldn't challenge, had to drop a hatch, post plant, managed to somehow get the kill, the person who was aimed at that hatch. And afterwards clutches it out. But it started way earlier than that. Like, again, he should have died in Rocket.
If anything to be said, the last two maps have certainly been very entertaining. Again, I do love the fact that Padahone are starting to nip at the heels of Gaming Team a little bit here, are able to hold on to it. Lambe has been absolutely phenomenal. Like, hats off to Lambe, 100%. Ooh. Good night, Halva. Rauer, very good opener. Pest will still be out and about. The trade hasn't come through. That is a free entry coming into the hands of Gaming Team. Starting on the right foot, at least, Hap.
Yeah, for sure. Instantly having the breach open as well that they were looking for. Still some ground to go as Leighton might have overstayed a bit with the Twitch drone there, zapping out away towards Rastin. Got the drone kill. Scar's popping off now. Will be giving a new angle to work with from Ops Room. The pre-fires coming through. And she's slowing down Denster. Kind of takes away the surprise that he wanted to go for in a swing. Drone used to open up the explosive ingredient. Instantly following up with some DMR shots, not quite able to connect, but Denster will find Lambe, so at least that will put up a bit of pressure towards the rest of the defense. As the fights continue and old Shed gets his life saved by Raba as he's pulling out a goo mine. There's now a 2-on-5 situation. It seems impossible to clutch, but we've seen it happen before. This week as well, the bees come through, Rastin is spotted, the Nitro comes out, but he's all alone in this 1v5 scenario. He takes down Raba, and with that the kit, the second and the third will follow as well, as Rastin reloads and has the opportunity to take the next fight, activates the glasses at the right moment, but he's being sandwiched as he's fought on from both sides. He will get the down, I believe. No, not even that, but it was a beautiful attempt by Rastin.
Oh my god, it was. Oh my days, Rastin. Yes, Gaming Team hitting that match point. But goodness gracious me. Adrenaline pumping. Nasty business. Look at that free kill. Outrageous. Outrageous. Insane. Insane. But yes, that is match point for Gaming Team. Securing it. Padahone, will they be able to pull us to overtime? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This has been a very, very clunky layer from them compared to what I expect. But again, Gaming Team, very competent and capable team in their own right. So it was very up in the air how this was going to go. I've been thoroughly entertained. I think we've seen some gorgeous stuff come through. Lambe has had an absolute field day with it. Again, Rastin kind of coming in and just doing things like that, despite the fact that his back's against the wall, really shows the caliber of that team as well. This Gaming Team finally having a bit more, I would say a bit more luck, because again, we've considered the first game that they had of the weekend, right? An 8-7 loss, and it was very, very close again, just in the final moment, Secret just snuffling it up. Really could have gone either way. So it is one of those things where it's like, okay, Gaming Team finally getting a little bit of a dub on this kind of group stage weekend. I'm okay with it if they take it here now, because I think that they've played really well. They've played very default, but they've played very decent, and it does kind of imply a lot for next weekend when we get to the playoffs, where again we think of the way that some of these players can cook in terms of strategy. It is exciting to me. It is exciting.
It is for sure exciting, and You know, to be honest, if you're looking at these past couple of rounds, Gaming Team has been in control for the majority of them. It's just that at the end, like, you know, when they're supposed to lock it out, it just falls away to Panahone. Except for that last round, of course. Like, it could have been over already. Could have been a 7-1. Could have been a 7-2. It's that we're finding ourselves at a 6-3 situation now. And usually when you attack, your attacks will get better as soon as you go because you've seen the setup, you know? Like, you know what they're bringing. You know what you're expecting. And they still have 3 more opportunities to lock it off right now. So I don't foresee any big issues here for Gaming Team.
No, I don't. I mean, again, there are some attacks where I think there's definitely easier options, and I do think a big hindrance for Panahone, especially on that first half, was just the lack of information that they had to work off, especially when you're going against players who can hit their shots. They are gunners. You know, we think about the mileage and the years that a lot of these players have had and the things that we've seen over the years in so many different tournaments. This is even, you know, even thinking about going back to like UKIN 2, for example. You know, the kind of progression that's happened over the years with a lot of these players. It's that mileage and it's the way that they've slowly been sculpted into these decent players that we're now witnessing kind of scrap their way through this a bit chaotic group stage, shall we say. I don't think that there's anything, you know, too rude about saying that it has been chaotic this weekend, because it certainly has. We've seen people trying to run default, but then just not really shot calling or seemingly going through the kind of fundamentals as efficiently as they perhaps could. And I do think that that's going to be something that obviously needs to be sharp up for next weekend, but at least now we're seeing some really nice stuff come through from Gaming Team. Again, even that Cafe, to be honest, I really enjoyed watching them play on Cafe. I do think that could have been a map that they won, but they just lost their heads in the end of it. So let's hope that they don't lose their heads now.
I'm just super excited for what next week is going to be bringing, when all these teams are going to be forced to bring out their best and their full map pool as well, as we're headed towards those best of 3s, and elimination could actually loom, because after the first 2 days, all the first upper bracket games have been played, and that means that on day number 3, which is the Sunday, so a week from now, we are there to eliminate teams. And, you know, that will sound a bit crazy, considering the fact that none of these games have led to that point, but that is when truly teams will be with the back against the wall.
Yeah, and again, it's this, I'm sure we'll touch on this point later on as well after this map, but it is this idea of, okay, if you're going to be like, oh, it's just for seeding, I want to see full all the way overtime every single map. I want to see full 2-1 victories by the skin of their teeth. I want to see everyone bringing everything out that they possibly can. I don't want to see any of this silliness. And again, it's one of those things where if people don't hit the ground running next week, we're going to start seeing the copium come out on socials, I'm sure, as well. My mouse exploded and Mercury's in retrograde. It's the same old thing that it always has. I don't want to see excuses. I want to see everyone locked in, because again, every single roster in this tournament is so capable. Is so capable. Even if they don't think they are. Like, even a Gaming Team, for example, yesterday kind of being like, oh, we're not going to win, so we're just going to, hello, in the old chat, kind of like poo-pooing themselves because they had to play against Geeky. They can do it. Gaming Team could beat Geeky. Anything is possible in this tournament. I will die on that hill. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. I just need everyone to play to their full potential.
You want to know what the excuses I want to see next week? We had bad seeding.
No one is allowed to even say that, right? No one. That entire any mention of seeding next weekend banned, like illegal. Go
wait
to
for
jail.
the interviews.
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect £200.
Well, we're getting back into it. What could be the final round of the group stage of this match of this weekend? Well, not fully this weekend, actually. Of course, there's still the main stream that's also going on. What are they streaming right now? Let me check. South America. There we go. But this is the place to be.
Yes.
As Gaming Team is a round away from setting themselves up for a full-fledged victory, which we discussed before, actually what they need to move themselves over into 3rd place. Which means they would meet Diavoli instead of Project Zero. And I think I'd rather take that fight than Project Zero, because we talk about Geekay, of course. Geekay lost, Project Zero hasn't. You know,
God, I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped for how Project Zero have played. Like, I'm just so excited to see what they do next weekend. If that's kind of everyone's like half-assed approach to the group stage. Like, oh my goodness, I am going to be in absolute hysterics. It's going to be amazing, and I'm very hyped for it. But now, Panahorny needs to try and redeem themselves for Tachanka being brought out alongside the smoke. That wombo combo can create a lot of nice time waste. And Nifsu looking to play quite aggressively around Mez and operational. Even setting up a keeper in operational. Great stuff. It's the thing. I like it when people invest utility overlooking operational, because it is the easiest route to force and execute ASAP. You can take a mirror sometimes, right? You can put a mirror on that Mez wall overlooking operational, so you can play a little bit more aggro there. But having those keepers, not only can you set up around Mez, you can play aggressively around that double doorway. So I do love to see that. Nifsu could do massive bits here. However, gaming team, they might not want the easy route again. Remember, last time they decided to go for the northern take. Storage and sky pressure. Working the way slowly but surely that way. Speaking of working, Lambe. Once again, pulling up his socks, putting the team on his back, getting that opener. Phenomenal game from him so far. Despite back foot that Panahorny are on, Lambe has really had some impactful moments.
Rama has been slightly cyberbullied throughout this game. Of course, like, he's had some incredible kills as well, and you know, like the wallbang entry that he had. But like, at the same time, he just dies so unfortunately sometimes. It's just, unlucky, unfortunate. As, Nifsu was being chased for a second by the death mark, but Leighton instantly cancelling it, knowing where he is. No one couldn't really do anything about it. He's now trying to find himself in a better position to actually challenge. And as Shed will find, however, it's a smoke gone. Very crucial with the utility gone for later down the line when the plant will be attempted, but there is still going to be the yokai drones. There's still going to be the Shumika launcher that is in the hands of Rastin. Those also need to be dealt with if you want to get this plant underway. As Rastin is eyeing himself up for a potential plant, he's just sending some fire over the top, and Denster is forced to rotate out. He's doing his best though to get himself an opportunity. Might have overstayed right there, but Sleben will find the kill. That's crucial. The Tachanka off the board, as Nifsu will find Wolf for his effort, but instantly shotgun afterwards. This could be the end, as it's only up to Lambe and Nick right now. Shed down to 1 HP. Sleben down onto the ground. Leighton is the healthiest player on the side of the attack right now, as he will go for the pickup onto Sleben. And the preparation is there for a post-plant, if they manage to get it planted in the first place. As Shed is coming close around the corner, trying to go for a bit of a flank. This could be big. With 10 seconds, they need to make a move. He sees the echo, but he gets shut down from the hallway. Leighton is making the attempt. Sleben is providing the cover. They need to hit it now. 1 second left, and the post plant is near. 45 seconds, and Leighton on his retreat gets shut down. And Panahorny live for yet another round. Bring it to 4-6.
Really, really well played by Lambe and Nick there. Again, just that buddy system. They both were looking. They knew Shed was coming from that kind of storage side, and they were like, yeah, we have to shut him down. And they were both willing to contest it together, despite the fact that there are two unknowns with those other two players. Dealt with that backstab. Again, I think if anything, maybe a bit of over-aggression around that swing. Ideally, again, if you're holding for the mask plant, you need to hold it a little bit tighter. Especially when you're in that situation where you know you're going against a 1v2 potentially there. Nothing too much to poo-poo at. You just feel bad for Leighton, having to hightail it out of their back turn. Can't really go for a gunfight with your back against the enemy. Fourth round on the trot for Panahone at least, and they've been able to at least contest against this, nip at the heels, but 2 more rounds is what they'll need to get to that overtime spot, and I would argue it's not a big ask. But it's still dangerous, especially with gaming team. They're starting to really work these multifaceted approaches. Panahone need to be on it. They need to be sharp. Can't just rely on these golden boys at times to make these standout plays on the side of Panahone.
All right, gaming team, you got so close in that previous round, but it just fell apart when you wanted to get the execute, when you wanted to get that plant down. Clean it up a little bit, and this match is yours. As we go down below once more. And you start thinking about that run out, right? Where Rawa got picked up. That was a crucial bit of utility they no longer had access to. Because of Lambe deciding to just go for one. Eventually clutching it out as well. That's a head spotted. No damage done. Lambe survives out there, saved by the railing as he falls back. Towards Stockton. Shed finding out about Hova's position as well. Will lose his drone, but at least aware of that smoke's position. With a minute gone off the clock, the first floor and second floor are now in control. With the exception of Nifsu, roaming around in security. Looking to make an impact, but Shed falls. Nick will get that kill. Crucial for Panahone, and as Nifsu takes a little bit of a move, just decides to place down a goo mine and call it a day. He doesn't want to give away the man advantage they have.
Damage 30 being established. Denser doing bits, of course, with that sledgehammer. You do need something on the horizontal at some point. Otherwise, you might end up bottlenecking a little bit too much down blue into filter. Nifsu dealing with Rawa. Popping up. Gaming team struggling to get closer towards site right now. Aiton falls upstairs as well. Again, 2 versus 5. This isn't going to be easy at all for Denster and Sleben. Incredible scenes from Panahone. Not really having to do too much. Nifsu has made his way upstairs. Denster shut down before he can even get in the building. Sleben gets his one. Capitalizing off the greediness there of Halver. All these mollies being sent towards him. He knows he can't do anything. They know exactly where he is. So much fire being sent towards him. There we are. Panahone. Getting closer to that overtime now happen. I'm here for it. I want to see it.
Might call for a tactical timeout to come in from gaming team. Seen the sights. One of them available now after a double round win. I mean, Nifsu's just around up top. He was roaming about, managed to find himself a kill after that. In a 2v5, you don't have really sight control. You don't have any vertical control. The fuser is down and guarded as well. Sleben could only do so much just to go for an exit kill. And no timeout taken. Still will be in pocket. As head over towards Bunk. Difficult side to hold on to. Gaming team is going to try and make most of that.
I think this is a thing from gaming team, but it's okay. When things start to go a little bit pear-shaped, are we still gonna commit? Because there were times there where you're like, okay, they had a plan. We still have people faffing about outside. We still have everyone upstairs. No pressure being happening on the horizontal. One person then is solo pushing downstairs. Looks like they're making it easy for themselves at times. Have they run out of gas?
Possibly. But at the same time, it could just be over if they manage to find an entry here. One good start to the round. Could just as well find the final nail in the coffin they're looking for. Is the drone work is strong? Trying to figure out what's safe, what's not. Drones are below operations, so they're not having to be afraid of any potential C4s. Grenade used to get rid of the Banshee, so it won't alert them later on. The Excars have opened up the operation wall as well to give them a deeper line of sight. Of course, top 4 is crucial to take control of. And you see it on the side of Panahona as well. 5 players are actually on the top floor. There's no one on the actual ground floor itself defending the site. And that means that we are probably going to be heading into a situation where every single gunfight is going to be taking place at the top floor, at least for the next 30 or 40 seconds or so, before fallbacks will start to come through. But at the same time, you cannot go for a plan due to all the verticality out there, so you need to bring the pressure to them.
Here we go. Enter. About to get stuck in towards this pressure on the top floor. Needs additional pressure. There we go. Shed. Jumping in. Getting in position. You've got to split that attention. Got to make things a little bit easier for yourself. But Rastin is going to get that shotgun. The plant is indeed going down. Leighton will deal with Nick. As Nifsu and Lambe start to clean things up. Shutting down that defuse as well. 2 versus 4. This looks great for Panahone. That Sleben will take off Lambe's head. No clap back to Sleben is taking a bit of damage from below. Can't get too distracted by that. Panahone could potentially pull back here. Yes, they are. They have indeed. However, I thought he was going to stick around, but he has gone down with the rest of them. 30 seconds. Gaming team. Again, this is where the shot call needs to come in. Diffuser just on breach. Gotta get a jog on. You gotta lock in.
18 seconds. They know where it is and they need to get that move on. You said it before. There's just gonna have to be a push. And it needs to be enough. A plant most likely will not suffice as they will attempt it anyway. Will be called out by that bulletproof. The cover is also there. They're attempting to go for wallbangs and the cover might be on point. There it is, 45 counting down. This could be the end as both of them exit the building. And they're trying to rotate around and survive for their lives as Leighton wanting to retake that top floor control so they have verticality to protect that diffuser. But he needs to be quick because they're right on top of it. Sleben stalling as much as he can as the Renat will come in. He will find one for his efforts and this could be the end. This is the end as Nifsu is trying to defuse it. He has 10 more seconds to start the process and he will be killed. Gaming team. A 2v5 comeback. They make it stick. And they secure it in the very final round before overtime will be upon us. And thus they rise to 3rd place in the group.
Really, really well played there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, that shot call, it needed to come through. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan. As soon as plant's down,